Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Katie Snow. Welcome, and today we are making homemade almond milk. This is one of our favorite items that we make on a regular basis. It's very easy to make. I know a lot of people get intimidated with this recipe because it does have a few steps, but it's so much healthier than the boxed almond milk that you'll buy at the store. So when you're looking at almond milks in the store, sometimes you have to have them, you're in a pinch. It's nice to have a box where you can just readily grab it and pour a glass of milk or use it in a recipe. However, in these boxed almond milks, there are a lot of added ingredients, and if you're drinking them over and over again, your body is getting these chemicals and these not so great ingredients in your body on a regular basis. So we use this in a pinch. But on a regular basis, we like to make homemade almond milk. And again, it's very easy to make, very inexpensive. These boxed almond milks can actually add up if you're buying them over time and going through several boxes a week. So another fun fact is there's only a handful of almonds in this box of milk. And so you think you're getting mostly almond milk, but there are a lot of other preservatives and ingredients that make up a lot of the milk in this box. So when we're making our homemade almond milk, we're using 2 cups of almonds. So you're getting the benefit of all these almonds, and that's what the milk is. So to start the recipe off, we actually take 2 cups of raw almonds. Not always can you find them organic, and that's okay in the store, but just make sure that they are raw. And sometimes they'll say pasteurized. I know there's a lot of almonds in the past few years that they've had to go under certain codes where they've had to pasteurize the almonds, but you can still find raw almonds. So this is 2 cups. And what I do is they have to soak for a little bit in order to allow them to blend better. So what I do is I get a quart jar, I put 2 cups of almonds, and then I fill it up with water. And so this was overnight. You need about 6 hours for this process to allow the almonds to swell up, and it allows them to blend, and you can extract most of the contents out. So these almonds, when I first put them in the jar, they were about to here. And then there was water, and then because overnight I left these, they actually swelled to the entire size of the jar, and so they do swell quite a bit. And so this is what it should look like in the morning, or if you do it during the day and you make this in the evening, this is what it should look like after it's soaked about 6 hours. So what I do, I go ahead and pour the water off, and I rinse about 6 times. So I just keep putting water in, and then I shake, and then I rinse, because we want to get these enzyme inhibitors that God made us a natural enzyme inhibitor to protect the nut so it can stay good for a long time. But we want to get that off. And so this is actually a sprouting process, a sprouted process. And so again, it just makes it so much healthier. But you want to make sure you rinse it about 6 times and then get all the water off. And then we're going to use, this is my Blendtec blender. It's an amazing blender. It blends things very well. It's a very high-powered blender. And we're going to take the rinsed almonds. There were 2 cups of them, and we're going to place them into the blender first. Okay, and then I'm going to shake it down. And then we're going to add enough filtered water to a little above the 32-ounce line. We want this to fit back in a quart when we're done. We'll have a quart of almond milk. But we'll have actually, once we strain the blended almonds, you'll have right at 32 ounces or a quart. So I just put enough water to cover them and right above the 32-ounce mark. And then I'll put my lid, and then I'm going to blend it pretty good. So I let it go. The cycle of my blender is like 49 seconds, so I'll let it go about 49 seconds. That way it's blended very well. Okay, so that is 49 seconds that it blended on like a medium speed. And then what we're going to do is, one thing you'll need is, this is called a nut milk bag. So it's similar to cheesecloth, but you can find these on Amazon. I'll put the link below so you can order one, and another link that's not Amazon so you can order it direct from the manufacturer. But this is called a nut milk bag. So what we want to do is we want to open it above a bowl. And so we just have it where we can pour the blended water and almond mixture. Like you're pouring it into the sack. And then what we're going to do is make sure you have enough of the bag in your hand. You have it where it's looped around one of your fingers. And then we're just going to press the milk out of the bag. And then this just takes some time, so you'll just keep pressing. But you don't want to press too hard because these bags are a little delicate. And if you press too hard, you'll actually bust a hole in it. And so I've been through a bunch of these nut milk bags, and it's okay. It's just part of making this on a regular basis. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the liquid that I can get out of the bag. It's quite a bit of squeezing. Get some arm muscles while you're making this recipe, and you get good at it. It's pretty quick. This is probably one of the time-consuming parts of this recipe, but it's not hard. It's very easy. And then what you can do, you'll end up with pulp left in the bag. There's a number of recipes online that you can just look up almond pulp, and there's some great recipes that you can make with this. Or you can feed it to your chickens. We have chickens, so I'm gonna run and throw it out there, and they love this. They gobble it up. So you'll have a good amount of the pulp left in there after you've squeezed most of the liquid through. Okay, and then we've rinsed our blender so it's back and ready again. And so what we'll do is just go ahead and pour the liquid back in. And so we end up with about 22 ounces of milk, and it varies. Sometimes if I blend it a little longer, I can get about 24, maybe 26 ounces. So it depends on how much you blend, how fine the particles are. I can squeeze more liquid out. Okay, and then here is the last step. It's very easy, and these are some optional things. You can drink the milk just like this. You don't even have to put it back in the blender. You can just be done with it after you squeeze the liquid out. Or there's a couple of things that just enhance the milk and I think make it taste a little bit better. So pure vanilla, you can put some of this in there, and usually I put about a teaspoon. Again, totally optional. And then we're gonna put a couple shakes of our pink sea salt. And then this is a product that I feel just makes the almond milk creamier. So this is coconut manna, and you can put, it's up to you how much you want to put in there. I sometimes put a tablespoon, sometimes a teaspoon, but this is not coconut oil. This is coconut manna. So it actually has the meat blended with the oil in here. And so this is actually what I put in my coffee in the morning. I put 1 tablespoon in my coffee, blend it in my little small blender that I keep on the counter, and that's all I put in my coffee. But this makes coffee creamy. It makes a lot of recipes creamy, and so I use it quite often. I go through several jars of this in a month's time. So I'm putting about a tablespoon in this recipe. And then this is optional too. This is monk fruit sweetener. And so I'm gonna put about a teaspoon in this recipe, but there's sometimes where I put no sweetener. I've gotten used to it like that and I really like it. So this is totally optional if you wanna do this. You can also put just a drop of liquid stevia. That's another good item. And then some people, even when they get to this step, they'll drop a date in here and blend it in. You just have to blend it really well, make sure it's a you've taken the pit out of the date, but you can drop a half of a date or a date in there. So it really just depends on the type of sweetener, and if you're trying to stay away from sweeteners or use a sweetener that doesn't have an impact on your blood sugar. So that's why we've chose the monk fruit sweetener. That one's good for this. And we're gonna put in this recipe about a teaspoon. All right, and then that's it. We're gonna go ahead and blend it. So we've blended it for about 30 seconds on a medium speed. And so I'm right about 28 ounces, so just under a quart, so it'll fit nicely. You can put it either back in a quart jar to place it in the refrigerator, or if you're serving it nice for people coming over, you can put it in a nice little pretty carafe that you can pour out, so it's another option. But a lot of times I just keep it real simple. I put it back in the same jar that I soaked and just make sure I rinse it out. So there we go, homemade almond milk, delicious. You can keep this in the refrigerator for about 3 days. Usually doesn't last that long for us. We drink it before we get to that point. But after that, you need to toss it out because this is raw and the almonds have been sprouted. You know, the time that they're good is limited. But anyway, delicious. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. Super easy to make. Just follow the steps, and remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with friends and family so that they can live their best life of health. And I'm Dr. Katie Snow, helping you to transform your health naturally. See you next time.